Okay, so we are going to talk about two things very quickly. Number one, France being accused of mistreating African children who are there as asylum seekers. Yes, they've accused France of mistreating African kids, treating them bad. And this is from who? From the United Nations. Number two, we're going to go to Liberia and talk about something very, very crazy. And you better find out about this. Great stuff. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You're very much appreciated. I'm sorry. I got a bit of a cough. Yeah, it's nasty. It's been like this for the past 3 days. And it's night over here, so I don't want to, make too much noise for the neighbors and stuff. It's a rich area, so we're trying not to make noise because these rich white people are gonna call the police. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate you. My name is Zack. This is home, fellas. You want to know about the motherland, Africa? You are at the right place. Any country, you are at the right place. Let's get to this. France, here's France on the map. Now, the United Nations accuses France of serious violations. A lot of things happen under the radar, but this time around, they've put them out. They've accused France of serious violation. Which violation? France has committed serious systematic violation of the right of unaccompanied migrant children. So unaccompanied migrant children that go to France have been abused by the French community. How? Well, kids leave mostly Africa, going to Europe, hoping to get a better life. And sometimes they find themselves alone, because look at the map. You see this? This is the map of Africa. This is Morocco. In most cases where people cross, they will sometimes, take a boat or something very stupid like that and cross the Mediterranean Sea, hoping to get to Europe. Now, some of these kids get to Spain, some of them to Greece, but they find their way to France. Why? Because most of the people that are born in French-speaking African countries, their dream is to go to France. It's very sad. And also, Nigerians, Ugandans, Kenyans, all the African countries where the British were colonizers, they all want to go to London. It's crazy. I don't get it. Like, everybody want to go to see the colonizer. Everybody feels like you need to be to the colonizer's country. It's like they Mecca. It's crazy stuff. Now, anyway, let's get back on track. So, what is France being accused of? Okay, they found that many of these children are denied basic services like shelter, healthcare, and education because they cannot prove that they are underage. So, normally, as a country that accepts asylum seekers, when you have children coming to you, it is in your obligation to make sure those kids have shelter, schooling, and stuff like that. Very basic. Okay, now, they refuse to provide them with that. Why? Because they don't believe Africans are children. They believe Africans are lying. When they say, I'm a child, I'm whatever age, they say, no, we don't believe that. They want to do testing to make sure that your age is accurate. This is correct. And how do they want to do testing? We're going to find out now. Fellas, France uses bone test, okay, and interviews to determine an age. Bone test. They need to check your bones to make sure you're telling the truth. The question is, do they do the same, or would they do the same if somebody from Ireland decided to go and, stay in France they don't need to be asylum seekers, but would they do the same? For the black kids, they need to do bone tests to make sure they're not lying. You can't just believe what people are telling you, like, really? And obviously, these methods are criticized and unreliable and overly rigid. Very difficult on a child to do bone tests, and it's usually when the story doesn't necessarily add up, or there's lack of details like siblings, birth date, school, or history. If they just cannot put things together, they say you're lying. We're not going to give you protection. We're not going to give you food or shelter, so go in the street. So there are plenty of children that are African descent in the street of France begging, even though France can do something for them. Obviously, this exposes them to danger. These kids face high risk of trafficking, abuse, and maltreatment. You find a little girl that's 12 years old in the street and somebody that's crazy in the head at 2 o'clock in the morning. What do you think he's going to do? It's very sad. And France feels like they're not children. And I don't feel like you're probably asking yourself a question, like, that's France, that's somebody else's country. It's not for you to go to somebody else's country and say how you want to be treated. It's not for you to tell French people how to treat you. You should have stayed in your country. Well, sorry to say this, but France is a signatory of the United Nations, of the CRC, okay? The Convention of the Rights of the Child. France is a signatory of that. And when you're a signatory of that, you have to make sure when you have asylum seekers that are underage, you have to provide shelter, food, protection, schooling for them. How? Because you get funded for that. Yes. So the CRC, which is investigating France, states that every child, regardless of immigration status, has the rights to protection, education, healthcare, and shelter. And France is not respecting that when it comes to black children. They also say that states must apply a presumption of minority, meaning anyone claiming to be a child should be treated such as until proven otherwise. Well, that's not what happened in France. When you're black, they already think you're lying. When you're different race, then it's crazy stuff. Now, I don't know, should we blame France for this? Because a lot of Africans have gone to Europe to play soccer. They've lied about their age. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be very fair. You know me. I'm always gonna tell you the truth. I'll never move to one direction. A lot of Africans, yes, for some of you that probably looking at me like, what am I talking about? Some Africans, when they want to get opportunities in sport, soccer, or any other activity that requires physical, strain, any other financial activity, they lie about the age. So the person could be 29 years old and just lie, say, I'm 17 years old or 20, you know what I mean? Or 20. They do that. Why? So they can have a longer career as a soccer player. There's I even know some guy that I used to box with. He called me big brother. I know his age, but I saw his age on the record international. I was like, whoa, dude, no. He was like -6 years. So it is known that many African people, when they go to Europe, especially for sport, they will reduce the age. Now, is this a reason why they will put everybody in the same basket? I don't think so. Is this perhaps a reason, an opportunity for them not to spend money on these children because they get money, they get paid? So what's going to happen now, if France continues to do it this way? Well, there's going to be damage to the reputation of France. Its credibility in managing humanitarian aid and child protection could be questioned. So France gets money for child protection and humanitarian aid. They're going to question that if it's treating African children in a way that is inappropriate. This is number two. It's going to potentially affect France's financing. France gets money. They get about 9.8 billion euros. That's almost $10 billion from 2021 to 2027. That's what's allocated to France. Okay, that's just from the European Union to take care of asylum seekers. Listen, most of these countries that say we don't want foreigners anymore, some of these countries have signed this document from the United Nations accepting asylum seekers. You think the country is just open to people and people are abusing your system. Well, maybe your country signed that and they receive funding and you don't know about it. France is one of those countries. Okay, they signed the CRC document, an agreement to look after refugees and asylum seekers. Okay, and many countries do the same. Now, they accept the money, but then when it comes to providing the service, they start acting weird. Okay, and number two, France in 2025 only has received 34 million euros. It was made available for them for projects, including those targeting, number one, age assessment procedure, to assess age of these children that come from Africa, that say, I'm a child, you need to do an investigation. There's money provided for that. Number two, it's for child protection, okay? The money is allocated for child protection. Number three, access to healthcare and education for migrant children. And France doesn't want to spend that money on children. Who's eating that money? Question mark. So now they're coming strong at them, they're going to have to react to this. Now, my other question is this one. Is this an incentive for black people to start running away from their countries and sending their children to cross the Mediterranean Sea? That's just insane. How do you allow your child to cross that water? I don't get it. Look, it costs you money to leave Senegal to cross that water and go to Europe. It costs money. It's not for free. You have to pay people to get you through that. Why can't you use that money to start a business in a corner? Why can't you sell things like bofrot? Bofrot is what you call maguinya or amaguinya in South Africa. It is called beignet in Central Africa. It is called mandazi in Kenya, I believe, or mandazi in Tanzania. It's the same thing. Why can't you sell those things and try to have a better life? What are the reasons why people trying to go to Europe? It's because they think life in Europe is much better. Well, that's not reality. That's not true. Look at France. Look at all these people. These are black people in France sleeping outside in tents. Life is not necessarily better. Now let's move to Liberia. Okay. Fellas, in Liberia, the Liberian Education Ministry has blocked a controversial plan to introduce mandatory drug testing at schools. So, an institution in Liberia wanted to introduce drug testing in schools. Drug testing, yes, drugs. Yeah, all of that. Why? Because children in Liberia are addicted to drugs. So, they want to introduce drug testing before you get into school. However, surprisingly, everybody's shocked to see that the education ministry has said, no, you are not testing those children. Isn't that a bit fishy? Okay, let's find out a little bit. Now, last year, the president, Joseph Boakai of Liberia, declared drug and substance abuse a national emergency.
The drug epidemic, especially the use of kush. The use of kush in our country is an existential threat, eating away the future of our children and the country. We must stand up.
National emergency. President says this is a national emergency. Dude, in Liberia, people like crazy. Okay? And, matter of fact, a recent report said that 1 out of 5 young kids in Liberia do drugs. It's crazy. Like everybody's like a zombie. And now a Liberian agency made a decision to start testing children, okay, before they go to school. It's like, how do you tackle drugs? One of the best ways to tackle drugs is if you do drugs, you're not going to school. Now you're going to have to decide between school or drugs. Okay, so in most cases, you're probably going to choose school. So this organization was about to start testing children at school. Then all of a sudden, okay, the Ministry of Education said, no, you're not testing anybody. Now people are saying, why? Because some people believe that politicians are making money out of these drugs. Now, how is the drug getting to Liberia? This is Liberia on the map. You see this? Because Liberia is a hotspot. But before we get to Liberia, I just want you to know a little things about Liberia. Liberia is the oldest Africa's republic. Yes, number one. Liberia was founded in 1847 by freed African-American slaves and is the oldest republic on the continent. Okay, so as you can see, that was the first republic in Africa, as white people call it. Number two, Liberia was never colonized. Okay, it's the only, besides Ethiopia, the only African state that were never formally colonized by European powers, because Liberia was a country where African Americans that were freed from slavery in the United States of America were sent to. Obviously, when they got to Liberia, they met some black people as well in Liberia that were local. Now, the African Americans that came from the United States back to Liberia had a little bit of a complex of superiority. You know, when you work for the master, unfortunately, black people always fight each other. I'm sorry to say it. Worked for the master for many years, got back to Africa, found a bunch of Africans, and they felt like, we live with the master. We're not going to mingle with you guys. We are superior to you. And the African American that were returnees, the freed slaves, created a society where they were only themselves as the elite, excluding the locals. So they had a big fight. They fought each other. Unfortunately, it was bad until later on they agreed and stuff like that. Let's continue. Liberia's capital is Monrovia. Okay, it is named after U.S. President James Monroe. This is James Monroe on the flag. He was U.S. number 5th president. And James Monroe was a strong supporter of the American Colonization Society. Okay, so this society was the society that wanted to resettle freed African American back to Africa. So he's one of the American president that wanted African Americans to go back to Africa and create their own country. His name is James Monroe, and the capital of Liberia is called Monrovia. was president in the US in 1817 to 1825. Now, what is the cause of the drug crisis in Liberia? Number one is because of the trauma of the Civil War, okay? Liberia went through mayhem. People unalive each other bad, okay? So during that time, many children were recruited into the army, okay? And in order to help them do that easily, they were all drugged. And they got used to that. It became a trend of life. So people got used to that lifestyle. Number two, there's widespread unemployment. You know, when people are not employed, you have two drugs. It's either intimacy or drugs or alcohol. So that's one of the reasons why people are. West Africa is increasingly used as a transit point, okay, for drugs coming from South America to Europe. It stops in West Africa in many points. Now, many people are suspecting that Liberia's government are very much involved. You know, they're making money because people are using drugs in the country. Why are they not fighting the drugs? Who's eating out of this? You know what I'm saying? Now, why would the Ministry of Education refuse testing of the children? Because if you test the children, then they won't be doing drugs anymore. If they don't do drugs anymore, somebody's not making money anymore. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is, fellas, for today. France has been accused of mistreating black people, black kids, saying that they're old, they're not kids, they should be sleeping in the street, being in danger, have no food, which is not something they apply when other people, the Ukrainians, for instance, they didn't go through that. But black kids from Africa have been treated in the most not nice way. And these people are ready to really push hard to try to get the funding of France. All the billions they're getting, they shouldn't be getting it. I mean, if you signed the CRC paper, it means you've accepted refugees. So you shouldn't be complaining about refugees. Same as many people, many countries where you signed, your government is signed. You have to accept those people unless you're going to unsign. Liberia is on drugs. People are bad. It's a bad situation. And many people believe the government is involved. Because why doesn't the government just stop those kids from entering class if they are on drugs? Why do you allow them to do it? Does somebody want it to continue? Bato amudimu, wagwan mi boss. I see you, my people. Okay, so we're gonna go very quickly across Africa, see what's happening very, very quickly. So first, we're gonna touch up on Cameroon, a shithole country in Africa. Cameroon, right here on the map. Yes, it's a shithole country. The president is 92 years old. He's been in power for 43 years. 92 years old president has been in power for 43 years. That's a shithole country. Okay? You're getting triggered? Well, I don't care. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go through it. Now, Cameroon just had an election a couple of days ago, and something interesting happened. Among the election electorate candidate, Issa Chiroma Bakari, a prominent opposition figure, is unilaterally declared victory. So an opposition guy say he's won the election. Okay, he's announcing the president. He's urging the president, the 92-year-old person, to concede, even though the official results have not been released yet. Think about it. You've had an election, and many people were part of the election, including the 93 years old president who's been in power for 43 years.
Despite the difficulties of everyday life, despite the false omens, the slanders, the delusions. Yes, dear friends, you have remained faithful to the institutions since my accession to the supreme magistracy. You have remained rock solid in your commitment to me.
And one of the opposition leaders already tells people that he won the election. He made a video about it and told the president to concede to the loss. Like, where do you see such thing? Have you seen this type of things in respectable countries? You don't see that. It's all in shithole countries, you stuff like that. I mean, why? Because the guy needs to prepare you already because they've lost so many times. They know they're going to lose to you anyway. So the best way to multiply the chances of you perhaps conceding is by them telling you we won. According to our counting system, following up system, we see that we won. So Chiroma claims on Tuesday that he came ahead of the official result, which the election body ILECAM is expected to announce on October 26th. So ILECAM is the election of Cameroon. Is expected to release the official results on October 26th. Already on the 14th, this guy is telling everybody that he won the election. Interesting. He said, the people have chosen and this choice must be respected. We ask the regime in place to prove its greatness. That's gaslighting, isn't it? To prove its greatness and to honor the truth of the ballot.
I will say it with gravity and simplicity. The people have chosen, and this choice must be respected. I call on all institutions, all administrative authorities, all officials, not to become enemies of the people they are supposed to serve. The time of fear, manipulation, and false calculations is over. The only side that matters today is that of Cameroon. I first want to thank the Cameroonian people. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for believing in change. Thank you to all those who voted, to all those who protected their vote. You are the true heroes of this victory. My gratitude also goes to all the men, to all the women who led this fight before me. Without your work, we would not be here. For that, I thank you.
Fellas, Africa is a very, very sad place sometimes. When it comes to election, it's very sad because elections are never really transparent. You know, except a few countries, 1 or 2 or 3 countries where the election is actually really the election result. In most African countries, when somebody gets into power, his family get involved, his cousins, you know, his childhood friends, nephews, and everybody. They all want a piece of the cake. So when you win the election, they say God gave you the power. So you don't have to give the power back to anybody else. You can run the country forever until you die, provided they eat. So that's the reality. That's Cameroon for you right now. Now, the government has responded to that. The government has ruled that only the Constitutional Council can proclaim the winner, that any unilateral publication of result will constitute a high treason.
Those individuals who attempt to announce the premature results of the presidential election or to declare themselves the undisputed winner in violation of the established laws and constitutional provisions of the Republic will have crossed a critical and inviolable red line, and should, without any doubt, expect severe and immediate retaliatory measures entirely commensurate with the gravity and profound seriousness of such a truly egregious offense.
The government tells the guy, be careful because you're going to be sent to jail for high treason.
This attempt to try and pre-program falsified results through this platform we've just discovered is a red line that must not be crossed. And I'm telling those people to remember this well, that in Cameroon, it's the one country where, and I mean this, the ground is slippery even in the dry season.
Only the constitutional body can declare who the winner is. Again, Biya, this man right here, has been in power for 92 years. Who want to stay in power for 92 years? Like, the man can barely speak anymore. Like, look at him again in this room here. He's very confused, asking, who is in the room? Are there important people in here? Do I have to speak?
Totally unaware of what is happening around him. He does not even know his aides keep explaining what he needs to do and telling him how important the event is. And he does not even know. He just keeps fiddling with the paper in front of him and passing that. This is the sad reality of the kind of presidents that we have running.
I mean, like, give the man a break. The man is tired. Let him have a good life, you know. Stop being greedy. It's not him, Biya. I don't think it's Biya. I don't think he wants to stay in power. I actually think he want to go to the sunset of life and just be happy. I know, I mean, the man won't do anything with his thing, but, you know, he can use this at least, you know what I'm saying? Leave the man alone. Give him a break. You know, all these people around Mr. Biya trying to get into power because, that's how it functions. It's not always the president. It's usually the people around the president that want to stay in power because if the opposition takes the power, then what? Their career is over. Biya may be 92 years old, but people around him are not all 92 years old. They want to keep the power within themselves. Well, this is not the first time that an opposition leader claims victory before the official announcement. Has it been successful? Let's check in the past. Who has done such thing and what happened? There was another man back in time. His name is Maurice Kamto. Okay, this man right here from Cameroon, 2018 election. Kamto, leader of the MRC party, declared himself winner one day after the vote ahead of the official result. It looks like it's a thing that Cameroonians like to do, right? You know, a day after the election, they say, I'm the winner, pick me, I'm the winner. Well, come to say he was a winner.
I have received a clear mandate from the Cameroonian people, which I intend to defend firmly until the end. I call on the outgoing President of the Republic to organize the conditions for a peaceful transfer of power.
Well, unfortunately, later he did not win the election because he was arrested and his supporters faced tear gas and mass detention during the process. So in Cameroon, you don't play, okay? If you talk about the government funny you sideways, haha, my brother, they're going to beat you up bad. In Cameroon, they beat up even advocates and magistrate. No, not magistrate, but civil lawyers, you know. Lawyers get beat up. So I don't know if that's a low, less, or not. Anyway, you let me know how you feel about that. In the DRC, this country right here, second biggest country in Africa, you know, Democratic Republic of Congo. Just keep in mind that any country in Africa, when you hear the name democratic, it's usually not democratic at all. It's a country that goes through mayhem and suffering and difficulties. Unbelievable. This man right here, his name is Martin Fayulu. In 2018, Martin Fayulu rejected the official results that named Felix Tshisekedi as a winner. Tshisekedi was the winner, and Fayulu say he was the winner, and he claimed the victory and filed petition in the constitutional court, but was dismissed.
No one has the right to steal victory from the Congolese people. Do you accept that your victory be stolen? No one has enough breath nor strength to steal your victory, the victory of the Congolese people.
Martin Fayulu got 61.5%. The one who followed Fayulu is Felix Tshisekedi with 18.86%. And the one who is at the bottom of the list is Ramazani Shadari, who comes with 18.49%.
So many people feel like Fayulu had won the elections, and corruption, that's what people think. So Tshisekedi may have won the election. Anyway, so does it work? It clearly doesn't work. Claiming that you won the election doesn't work in Africa at all. Okay, let's go to Kenya. Yes, Kenya. Beautiful place, lovely people, amazing place. If you've never been to Africa, I suggest you go visit Kenya. You're going to have a good time. Oh, matter of fact, there's a lot of Americans, African Americans going to Kenya. What do they call them? The passport bros or something? I read some crazy story about the passport bros, man. Crazy stuff like Kenyans being very angry at them for using women and stuff like that. I mean, my brother, my African American brothers, okay? With all the love in the world. You know, you're always welcome to Africa. But wherever you go in life, and this is valid for everybody, you got to be respectful, you know? You got to respect the culture. It's very, very important, because that can change the way you are perceived very quickly. And then you feel like people are being xenophobe or they don't like you. I mean, there've been a lot of reports, and I can't confirm yet. I've just seen a few stuff online, some documentation and videos of people complaining about certain African Americans, not all of them, of misusing, that niceness there. Look, African Americans are usually very much lacked in Africa. You know, you get priorities in many things. Just your accent is a passport to many things. A passport to kindness from the police. A passport to kindness from the ladies. You know, so apparently there was a guy that's been filming women while doing, and it's outraged a lot of people. Like, he was trying to film a very intimate moment with, why would you do that? And also things that you say online is very, very necessary. You know, you may be thinking you're talking to your friends in America, but Africans are watching you when you talk about their country. The way you talk about, you may not like everything you see, but when you see things you don't like, be very careful of how you speak about it. I'm not saying you shouldn't say negative things. You can say it on the phone when nobody's listening to you. Don't do it on camera, because it's not going to be very nice. It's the same way if somebody goes to America and start talking sad ways about African American community, he won't be liked very much. So be very, very careful. Anyway, we are in Kenya. Something drastic happened in Kenya, fellas. Unfortunately, with all due respect, Kenya has declared a period of national mourning following the death of a veteran opposition leader and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. This man right here has been very helpful to the Kenyan revolution, if you want to call it that way. Is there any revolution in Kenya? He's been a great figure of opposition. Raila Odinga was a central figure in Kenya opposition politics. He's been running for presidency attempt 5 times, and he missed all 5 times. So apparently for 4 decades, the man has been but he's never really won. It must be very sad, you've been trying to be president for like 40 years and nothing happens, and you die. That's just crazy, man. Anyway, may his soul rest in peace, for all the good things he's done. May his soul rest in peace. And we're going to Madagascar again. So Madagascar on the map, beautiful place, lovely people, great culture, good diversity. So people in Madagascar are not all dark skin like myself, okay? Some are lighter skin because it's a mixture of a lot of people coming from all over the place. And Madagascar, unfortunately, no, it's not the cartoons that you watch on TV. That's not Madagascar. No, Madagascar is this place right here. You can see on the map. Now, Madagascar has been excluded and suspended from the African Union. The African Union is the organization that unites all African countries where they can discuss like brothers, and move forward. They have suspended Madagascar. Why have they suspended Madagascar? Because Madagascar has just gone through a coup d'etat. How? Well, the president, this man right here, a good-looking man, was ousted from power. Why? Because the people went in the street, they were unhappy. People went walking, they said enough is enough. Youngsters, youth, Generation Z, very dangerous people. They put pressure on the president because things were not functioning appropriately. Like what? There was no water running in Robinet and no electricity in many houses. The majority of the people in Madagascar was in the dark, or at least getting electricity like 4 hours a day. That's bad. In the meantime, the capacity of the electricity that was available was distributed to the higher life people, politicians, senate people, and stuff. So corruption. Why did they get to that position? Because of mismanagement. When you build a central plant of electricity, you do it for the population. Let's say the population, when the central was built, was 1,000 people. Oh, you made babies here, left, right, centers. Now you have 20,000 babies, not counting the baby mamas, to be served electricity. You can't use the same plant you used when you only had 1,000 people. You need to upgrade. Unfortunately, most African people don't upgrade. And sometimes when they put the money aside for the future upgrade, they use that money for their personal purposes. Yes, president and their secretaries and they whatever, they use that money. They buy houses, villas, yachts, marry 7 wives and stuff like that. Now, when shit hit the fans and you need that money to build things that are actually, you don't have the money. So people were angry. They say, we cannot do this anymore. We've had enough of the president. 16 years, he's done absolutely nothing. Well, the president trying to boo and do some funny things and gaslight people, it didn't work. So the army joined the people. Before the army joined the people, they gave them an order to shoot the people. The army refused to shoot the people of Madagascar. Congratulations. In most African countries, army shoot people. Yeah. I'm always going to tell you the truth, my brother. I know you're from America and you probably want to know the truth and that's saddened your heart. Well, I'm here to sadden your heart some more. In African countries that are shithole countries, when the politician give an order for the army to shoot the people, they shoot the people. Sad. Well, Madagascar said, no, we ain't shooting nobody. Y'all are leaving. So the president got a flight from the French. French military airplane came and picked him up and took him to France because he has a double nationality. He got 2 citizenship, France and Madagascar. And you're asking yourself a question, how come a president's got 2 nationalities? Shouldn't that be banned or something? I would agree. Anyway, that's what it is. So Madagascar has been suspended from the African Union. They will not participate. Well, this is not the first time. It has happened in the past with the same president, Rajoelina. I just killed his name. Andry Rajoelina. I killed the name again. So back in time in 2009, he also came into power by force, forcing the previous president out because the previous president was accused of mismanagement, authoritarian government and stuff like that. He came into power bringing fresh of breath. And when he came into power by force, Madagascar was suspended by the African Union. Madagascar only came back, was admitted again in 2014 when they went to elections. Well, now it has been suspended again. You know how you feel about this? Like we said it earlier, in the beginning, it was this Issa Chiroma Bakari from Cameroon who said he won the election against the 93-year-old Cameroonian president. The man just want to go to retirement. Leave him alone. My question is, will this work this time? By him saying that he won the election. Number 2, as we can see, Kenya, a prominent figure in Kenya is gone. Forever. May his soul rest in peace. In Madagascar has been suspended from the African Union. Is this going to do something positive? Are the coup d'etats over? Or it's going to be successions of coup d'etat?
Okay, my people. The NHS in Britain, England and Wales is set to roll out a groundbreaking HIV prevention injection. Okay, this is called cabotegravir. They're offering it to people and it's offering new hope. Okay, you're going to get injected and not get any transmission. I think this is great news. Let's be honest with each other. Our community is the most touched with this disease. Stop turning a blind eye and acting weird. Okay? Yes. So the NHS in Great Britain is offering this tablet named cabotegravir. It's a long-lasting injectable form of PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis. For those of you who don't know, you can protect yourself from HIV, from contracting HIV, even though you have unprotected sex. So what you normally do is you take tablets, okay, that
protect your body in advance of you being exposed to somebody that is HIV. So even if you get exposed, you hit it raw, like you like to say. Yeah, you won't be affected in most cases. I believe it's 99% chances you don't get anything. It's called prophylaxis. This is just for easy understanding for all of us. I know you're very smart. You know that you can't think that everybody's as smart as you. But here is family. Okay, we love everybody. Everybody has to understand. So if you want to go out there, my brother, use PrEP. Okay, use PrEP. Protect yourself. Stop being weird. And it's not because she's that hot and looks that yellow between her legs, my friend. Don't do that. Okay, so this cabotegravir is administered once every 2 months. It blocks an enzyme called integrase, which HIV needs to replicate. So even if you know, nothing happening, you winning, you know, nyama to nyama all the way, no problem. So if you are in Britain, okay, English, Wales, they're going to give to people first batch for free, okay, on the 30th of this month. They're targeting about 20,000 people. So if you just get the information that's necessary and go get protected. I remember many years ago, I think I was about 20, just turning 21. I met this girl. She was a very pretty girl. Jeez. You know, we liked each other. We talked to one another. I mean, we spent some time with each other. And I was lonely because I was away from my family. And this girl was very present, you know. Yeah, and you know, we started doing that thing, you know what I'm saying? Then after doing it, my spirit said, you know what, we shouldn't be doing it this way. You know, it happened one time we did that like that. And we shouldn't be doing this. How about you go get tested and I get tested and we can see. She went to get tested, okay? She said, no problem, went to get tested. And she came back and I was waiting for her. I was at the gym. I was waiting her. She came, she gave me the envelope. I took the envelope. I'm like, oh, hey, cool. I mean, if there's something wrong, she probably just would have disappeared. She gave me the envelope. I took the envelope and I opened. I'm like laughing her. I opened. Tack, 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 was tested HIV positive. What? Mang is tested HIV positive. My brother, I started crying. Why? How? Why? How long do you know this? I'm telling you, I cried. She was stoic, strong, just looked at me and we said goodbye. I mean, we started we had spent like a couple of days together. I said goodbye. She left. I cried. Okay? I cried. The same day I went to do testing myself. Okay? And I explained to the person because, you know, you find that person that's the counselor asking you why are you doing the testing and stuff. I'm like, you know, because this and this and that. Me and this girl and this. You're like, oh, but she was here. I'm like, yes. So the counselor said, let's test you and see. They tested, it came out negative. Then she said, yeah, it's normal that it comes out negative because it takes time to incubate. So you should come back here after 3 months. My brother, I went fasting. I fasted, fasting prayer. I prayed. Oh, Lord, remember my family. Remember my father. My father helped many black people. You know? I'm telling you, I prayed, I changed, I became a serious Christian. You know, after 3 months, went to do my test and stuff. Yeah. Look, today things are different. Okay, you can be HIV positive and have a very normal life. But hey, I think even though many people believe they are slowing down the release of the actual proper thing, you know what I'm saying? I think in the meantime, they're trying to milk us money, but let's go benefit from this injection. There's 20,000 people going to get free injection. It is in Wales and England. Just find out about that. Go get protected. They get you a shot for, I believe, 2 months. There's another one for 6 months. We don't have much information about that, but just shout out to you guys. Why? Because most of our communities are positive. Stop acting weird. This is your information. You need to find out about that. Okay, we are moving to Libya. Okay, Libya is the map here. Beautiful place, lovely people. Well, the Libyan ex-dictator, they call him dictator, Muhammad Gaddafi, this many. I don't know why they call him dictator. His son, he's ordered to be released in Lebanon prison, where he spent 10 years of his life, but he must pay $11 million in bail. The son of Gaddafi, the great man. Remember Gaddafi? He was a great man. He paid the debts of many African countries at the World Bank. Yes. Gaddafi contributed in the purchase of the very first satellites that belonged to Africa with regard to communication. He paid $400 million out of $500 million. The thing costed $500 million, but black people, because you don't know how to put money together, couldn't put money together. Gaddafi said, I'm going to help you. I'm going to put $400 million. You guys just fund $100 million. All the countries in Africa. I'm sorry, my brother, to tell you the truth, but black people can't do things together to build. It's very sad, but you need to hear it so you can develop. The African Union, you heard of this building right here? You see, it took them years to build this building. They say every African country must provide a few $1 million so we can build a place where we can have a seat and have a discussion about private things regarding Africa. They couldn't do it. Everybody's complaining. It's always, oh, you should have told me yesterday. You know how your boyfriend does? When you ask him money, they go like, oh, why didn't you tell me yesterday? You know, I had money. I was like, when I saw you, why you didn't tell me? Yeah, that's what they do. Even your president do the same thing. Oh, we have problems. They couldn't put money together to build their own building. Guess who did it? The Chinese. The Chinese built the African Union building for Africans. And guess what they did? They left you with surprises in it. Matter of fact, you know what happened in this African Union building? The Chinese implanted microphones and cameras and stuff in the server rooms that every weekend on a Saturday, data left the data center in the African Union and went to dump data somewhere in China. You heard that? Data left the African Union Center going to China. So every conversation or every dialogue, every discussion you had in the corridors, in the toilets is being listened to by China. You think China is going to come to Africa and build you things for free? Are you out of your mind? Okay? They're trying to make a noise about it, then China suppressed it very quickly. Anyway, so Gaddafi, we were talking about Gaddafi. Gaddafi's son was arrested in 2015 after he was abducted by Lebanese militant, okay, in Lebanon. He's married to a Syrian woman living in Lebanon. He was abducted by Lebanese militant. Why? Because they were asking from him information about the whereabouts of a prominent Lebanese Shiite cleric, okay? This is a very prominent Lebanese Shiite cleric that disappeared in 1978. Okay, so the man's name is Musa al-Sadr. He went to Libya for visit in 1978 and he disappeared. Now, many years later, people accuse Gaddafi of playing a role on his disappearance. Now, when they found Gaddafi's son after Gaddafi was unalive, they arrested him and threw him in jail for 10 years until he explains where this man is. I mean, was he directly involved? Absolutely not. That was his father's business. So whatever you do today, you must remember your children may have to pay consequences for it. It's crazy. Gaddafi was a great man. He was. But was he a great man for everybody? We don't know. Are there aspects of Gaddafi we didn't see? Certainly. Why? Because how did this man disappear? His name is Musa al-Sadr. How did he disappear? There are many speculations. Number one, they say the reason why he disappeared it's because of diplomatic friction. They say al-Sadr reportedly criticized Gaddafi leadership and policies during his visit. So he said nasty things about Gaddafi's policy when he went to Lebanon. This is speculation. Some accounts suggest that their meeting was contentious. So they fought each other and this possibly escalated into a fatal confrontation. I mean, you can't fight a president in this country. They're going to shoot you and throw you to the dustbin. Number two, people say regional pressure. Gaddafi may have acted under pressure from other Arab leaders who viewed al-Sadr's activism as destabilizing, especially in Lebanon, where sectarian tension was rising. So al-Sadr was very influential, and some leaders in the Arab world didn't necessarily like him. Number three, people say this may be a cover-up, gone wrong. Some theories suggest that al-Sadr died accidentally or during an interrogation, and Gaddafi's regime covered it up to avoid international fallout. So whichever reason it is, al-Sadr is no more, and unfortunately, Gaddafi's son has to pay the price for that situation.
We believe that the bail makes no sense in his case because he's already paid. Even though he's innocent, he's been in prison for 10 years. Moreover, he has nothing to do with the Lebanese justice system and has no appointments or obligations towards it. Therefore, the bail is pointless and meaningless. That's why we will challenge it. We're going to contest the bail and demand that Hannibal be freed. He is a free man because he's an innocent man who has nothing to be blamed for in the disappearance of Musa al-Sadr.
And now we're moving to Cape Verde, my brother. Yeah, this is Africa. You should go to Cape Verde. Beautiful place, lovely people. Have you heard of Cape Verde before? I know a lot of people never heard of that. You only hear about Burkina Faso and Ibrahim Traoré.
lots of things in Africa. Africa has 54 countries, my brother. So much diversity, so much different food. There is no such thing as African food. There are food from different countries, more than 54 countries. And each country has different tribes. Every tribe has its own taste. So come and discover, okay? Cape Verde is a beautiful place. Something interesting has happened. Cape Verde is qualified for the FIFA World Cup 2026. Congratulations. FIFA World Cup, that's soccer. I know African Americans don't necessarily vibe with that. They vibe with basketball and baseball and football. Okay, we call soccer football too, okay? But it's soccer for you. We call it football. Now, Cape Verde is qualified for the very first time for the FIFA World Cup 2026 for the first time ever.
It means everything to me. It's like since I was a little boy, and I know it's the same for the guys in the dressing room, since we were all little kids playing football, we dreamed of playing football at the highest stage. And there's no bigger stage than the World Cup. So to do this, to be the first Cape Verdean team here, to lift all the people, the nation, to put them on that stage, there's no better feeling than that.
So the Blue Sharks secured their spot with 3-0 victory over Eswatini. Yes, Eswatini. Eswatini is a kingdom where the leader is a king, King Mswati. I think he's got about 18 wives. He marries them young and virgin. If you're not virgin, you ain't never going to be the king's president. Anyway, Eswatini also has got a big issue because it's one of the countries with the highest level of HIV in the world. But it's an interesting place. So that's for you, Cape Verde. We don't speak a lot about it. It's an interesting place. It's an archipelago that's got 10 islands, so 10 different islands in Cape Verde. It's located on the west coast of Africa. It's a beautiful place, volcanic island. You need to go visit. They speak Portuguese and they are beautiful women. Look at that. And this, and that, and that. You think they're Latinas, right? Yeah, I know. It's also one of the strongest democracies in Africa. Very democratic country. No general slapping somebody in the street. Yeah, I will put you in jail. Or somebody saying, I will put you in jail. Have you ever heard of a civilian telling another civilian, "I'll get you to be put in jail"? Like, I will get you arrested. How? Like, what kind of shithole country is this? And when I tell you your country is shithole, you get upset. It's a shithole country. Sorry, you were born in a shithole country. I mean, Trump says a lot of things that I don't necessarily agree with, but that's one. Okay. Let's move on. South Africa. We're in South Africa, fellas. South Africa, first Walmart installed in South Africa. Congratulations. Walmart is in South Africa now. Walmart has opened its first store in South Africa, located at 4 Ways Mall in Gauteng. This marks the retail giant's first direct presence in African soil, expanding beyond its mass subsidiary in the United States of America. Is this good news? Good news for American brothers that's, come to Africa and want to find themselves. But I don't think you need that because Africa's got everything you need. I mean, we're talking about South Africa. You'll find Pick and Pay, you'll find Woolworth, you'll find all of that. There are major everything you need. You don't need Walmart. Now, how does Walmart benefit Africa? Does Walmart belong to Africans? Question mark. Do Africans have shares in Walmart? If they have shares, how much shares? Like 2% or 0.7%? I'm saying. Anyway, let's move to Ivory Coast. Today we're talking about Africa. Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire. It's called Ivory Coast. Some people call it Côte d'Ivoire. Okay, it's a African country next to Ghana. Okay, some of the people in Ghana are actually also in Côte d'Ivoire. It's the same tribe. It's called the Akan people. But when Europeans came, they separated the people by cutting the country into two. It's like you have a land, they just come and cut it. From now on, this is Côte d'Ivoire, this is Ghana. But you're the same people, you're cousins. It's just crazy. So these ones speak French, these ones speak English. Crazy stuff. Now in Côte d'Ivoire, Yvonne Gbagbo, okay, former first lady of Côte d'Ivoire, has spent the week campaigning. She wants to be president. Former president's ex-wife want to be president. Okay, she's a surprise inclusion in a list of 5 people. So Côte d'Ivoire has been through a lot of things. Côte d'Ivoire was colonized by the French, and they've kept a very strong position in Côte d'Ivoire. The message is simple. This lady is going to be president. She's trying. She's got great popularity. There are 2 lady candidates for presidency in Côte d'Ivoire, and it's a very interesting thing.
We must stop fighting over issues that are no longer relevant. We need to move forward beyond the past.
That's what it is, fellas. It's always a great appreciation to have you here. HIV, okay? England and Wales, my brother, you over there. Manager boy, go get injected. I know some of you don't like rubber. You don't like it. Stop acting up, man. I'm telling you the truth.
Some of you even start with rubber, then you remove it midway. Yeah, I even know that women do that too. They go like, oh, just take it out. Like, I know. What? What do you mean? You hypocrites if you don't accept this. I'm sorry. You hypocrites if you don't recognize. This is what, yeah. It's called caboter gravir. Go get injected, man. Protect yourself because this is the community that is affected the most. Stop being weird. Okay? Libyan president, his son, has been ordered to leave jail, but he must pay $11 million. Where is he going to get $11 million? His father died a long time ago. This is not fair. He was put in jail for the disappearance of a person he never saw. This person disappeared in 1978, and these people are asking him where he is. I mean, this is just crazy stuff. And then again, Cabo Verde has gone through FIFA World Cup. They're going to play. Congratulations, my brother. Kumentau, Boa Vida. I see you. Okay, thank you very much, fellas. Always a great pleasure. Walmart in South Africa, Tobela, Dumelang, San Bonani, my South African people. I see you. Thank you very much. Drop a comment. We need you to comment. We need you to comment because these channels are not doing really good. We need you to comment so we can grow and stay in tune. Yeah, we don't want to say goodbye. We don't want to say goodbye. We have a wild story of a young woman from Lebanon that went to the bank. She hijacked the bank to get money out of the bank. Why? So she could get her sister treated. Okay, so her sister basically needed a brain operation. They had done a few operations before. They needed a third operation that cost them about $50,000. But because she had no access to funding, she went to the bank, hijacked the bank, and get the money. I think we need to find out about this. This is a very interesting story. And let's go.
A 28-year-old Lebanese woman bursts into the bank branch with a gun in her hand. A brazen robbery that his accomplices filmed and then broadcast live on various social media platforms.
I am Salih Hafez. I came to the bank today to withdraw money for my sister who is dying in the hospital.
Wow.
I didn't go into the bank to kill anyone or to set the place on fire. I just want my money back.
That's wild. Like, I'm just here to take my money. I'm not taking nobody else's money. I'm not interested. I just want my money back so I can get my sister treated. That's another level of bravery. Let's go.
Salih Hafez did not come to steal other people's money. Banks are whores, give us the money. It's her own account that she's come to rob. Give him his money in dollars, you bastard. Give him his dollars. $20,000 in savings that this interior designer has been demanding from the bank for 7 months. And that the latter, close to bankruptcy, refuses to give it to him.
Don't shoot for God's sake. I want my 20,000. In this country, we have no choice but to do this. This money was not stolen. This is the fruit of our efforts. We are tired, we have worked a lot. We worked ourselves to death to save these dollars. They give us the money, we leave. Otherwise, person
will not get out of here.
That's wild. That's wild.
Inside the bank, employees and around 10 customers are being held hostage.
So she's very clear. And I think there's a very interesting point here. She got into the bank and they were streaming live. Okay, the first question would be, why would you be streaming live while doing an operation like this one? You get yourself unalive, right? She was streaming live so the message can be clear. It's not about me going to the bank trying to steal somebody else's money. I'm not interested in that. All I want is my money back, which I've been asking for the past 7 months. Okay? I need my money back for a specific reason. My sister needs an operation, a third one, a brain operation. And I've been asking for my money for her to get treated, and the bank is just not responding to my request. It's my money. I want it back. Now, by softness or by strength, you're going to give me my money back. So she wanted to make a message very, very clear. So in case she gets unalive, people can, nobody will lie saying that she was trying to steal from somebody. She was asking for her money, $20,000. Now, remember, in Lebanon, they were going through mayhem, and that's economic difficulties, where you could only withdraw $200 a month. Yes, $200 a month. Let's continue first.
Gasoline is spilled on the ground. The director physically threatened. At any moment, the amateur robbery can go wrong. Jad, stop smoking. There's gasoline everywhere. Put out your cigarette.
Come on now, come on.
Okay, I get it. Calm down. 2 hours of chaos before the manager agreed to open the safe. Not $1 more, not $1 less.
The thing is, banks need your money to function. If they don't have your money, they won't be functioning. And I'm talking about, economic small banks. They need your money to function. What occurs is basically when you deposit your money at the bank, Mr. 2, Mr. 3, Mr. 4, Mr. 100 deposit money in the bank, they will lend the money at Mr. 106 because Mr. 106 want to open a business. And the interest the bank makes, and they give you the money back. And every month, on top of that, they take a percentage for holding an account for you. That's how the bank functions. So if everybody had to go to the bank on the very same day asking for their money back, the bank wouldn't have it because the money's not there. You know what I'm saying? That's why they made sure that you have a limit per day that you can withdraw. It's your money, but somebody has to tell you how much money you can access per day. And if you have more money than they want you to have, they can criminalize you, even if it's your money. Now, this is a very specific situation of a woman who needs her money for her sister's health. Let's go.
Sully only wants what he deserves. Under pressure, the manager and employees count the dollars available in the cash register.
I am here today with the Small Depositors Association. How many are there?
Sully gets $14,000. There are still approximately 6,000 people who are missing.
Where is the rest of the money?
We can give it to you, but only in Lebanese pounds.
No, let's give him the rest.
Inside the bank, the smell of gasoline becomes suffocating. One of the desperate customers is frantically trying to escape through the incredibly strong bulletproof glass. Easy. Sully and her friends also decide to leave the bank before the police arrive. We only got a small part of the money. They're real assholes.
This is another level of something, brother.
Tell them we don't need this gun anymore. They can take it.
Let's treat the weapon.
According to the amateur robbers, the gun was a fake.
It's a fake gun. A fake gun. She went to the bank trying to rob a bank with a fake gun. Oh my gosh.
A few minutes later, one of the accomplices is arrested. And once again, the situation threatens to escalate.
Oh my gosh.
Grabs a police officer's weapon. Let it go. Let it go. I'm warning you, let it go. Watch out. Watch out.
Now, these people don't play, okay? People from the Middle East and stuff, they don't play. They're not scared. They're not afraid. They are not afraid. And that's the reason why people don't get walk over like Africans will do. Africans, when you stand in the street for your right, sometimes you get beat up and alive by policemen, okay? Because they know most African civilians have no knowledge of weaponry. They have no knowledge of self-protection. They have no knowledge of nothing. They're just like children. They go to church every day. They leave everything within the hand of God. People from the Middle East, even though they do pray to their God, they're also ready mentally. They are real men. If you put your gun dingling on the left hand side, they're going to put it off. Yeah, they're going to put it on you and say, listen, don't play. And that's why they can't play with them like that. Let's go.
Finally, the two men are taken away by the police. As for Sally, she managed to get away with her money.
Okay, we're going to stop right there. I think it's a very interesting story. Sally, a young woman that's from Lebanon, asking for the money that's due to her money to get her sister treated of her brain cancer, I believe. She had 2 operations by that time, needed a 3rd operation, which was going to be conducted in Turkey, valued at $50,000. Obviously, short of money, she needed to have access to her money. Now, Sally is not just a girl from the street. Sally is an interior engineer.
Okay, she did schooling. She's a valuable asset to the society. Same as her sisters. All of her sisters, as you can see on the picture here, on the video, are all interior engineers, exterior engineers, mechanical engineers, and stuff like that.
We are peaceful people. Our family is educated. We all have degrees. I'm an interior designer. Sally is an interior designer. Ikram is a dietitian and has her own clinic. Nancy is an accountant. We've never touched a weapon. Sally's goal was humanitarian above all else. We are all Sally. There are 5 girls in our house. We are 5 Sallys. When you say Sally, you also say Zaina, Dina, Ikram, Nancy. If there's anyone who can rebuild this country, it's you, Sally.
I want to tell Sally that she's a hero. I want to tell Sally that the house is very empty without her. I'm very tired. Come on.
So, in a society where Lebanon was going through the most economically, people could only access $200 a month. How do you react to a situation like that? If you have a loved one, you have a sister, you have a brother, you have a child, one of your parents is very, very sick in a very difficult situation, and the law says you can only access $200 of your money. It's your money, your hard-earned money. You went to school for, you hustled for, and this is your loved one, your child. What do? Do you sit down praying to God, hoping that a miracle happen? How will a miracle happen in a society where economics are on the ground, clearly? Or do you do something about it and risk it all?
I have nothing more to lose. I got to the end of the road. 2 days ago, I went to the branch manager and begged him, told him my sister is dying. She doesn't have time. After giving me a hard time, he finally said he can give us $200 a month at the rate of 12 million Lebanese pounds, which is not even the price of an injection that my sister needs to take daily. It is a shame to say this, but I got to a point where I was going to sell my kidney so that my sister could receive treatment. Because what is the point of my life if I see her dying in front of my eyes without me doing anything?
Are there reasons for which you would risk it all? I want to know from you. And again, we have another situation here in the DRC. This is DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Very difficult situation, very, very poor country. It is poor because the country, matter of fact, technically they say there is a lot of minerals. You know, it's rich in minerals, but people are extremely poor. It's sad. So this lady that you see on the picture came from Germany. Okay, apparently she had lived in Germany for 30 years. Originally from the DRC, flew back to Congo. DRC, yeah, they call it Congo, and went to a bank. Okay, she went to hijack a bank to get money, and apparently, yeah, it was mayhem. She had used a fake pistol to go and hide. Now it's crazy because these are the type of things you don't do in Africa. You're probably gonna get unalived very, very quickly. And I'm not 100% about the story, but all I know is there was a lot of people standing outside. Look at the mass of the people outside. Okay, this is a lot of people standing outside a bank that's being hijacked. The first question you'll ask yourself, why are there so many people? Why isn't the authority asking them to leave? Because this is clearly a very dangerous situation. Is there a lack of professionalism, perhaps? Because even in movies, you never see people standing around whilst there's a shootout, a potential shootout. They usually will put a ribbon saying police. If not, they will ask everybody to leave. If they don't ask people to leave, people naturally, the natural survival instinct will say, I need to get the F out of this place. Now, these people are watching like this is a soccer game, like it's a football game. And they're making comments like, hey, look. It's insane. I don't know. I just feel there's a lack of education here. Lack of competency, lack of many things. Number two, apparently this lady was apprehended, and some people suggest that she was abused because apparently there was reports, not sure about it, that they removed her clothes and stuff like that. And there are many questions asking, arresting somebody for doing something negative is one thing, makes 100% logic, but removing her clothes for what? Why do you need to do that? I think there's a lot of work to be done. You look at Lebanon, that woman technically, politically was wrong. Okay? Was she arrested after that? Absolutely not, because the government understood, even though she went to court, understood that the situation was very specific and special. She did not go, and she made sure showing to the world, I'm not going to take anybody's money. I'm just asking woman, which is definitely not the case of this young woman from the DRC who went to try to rob a bank. She probably was just broke, broke in Germany. I don't know. Germany has social system where you could get some money at the end of the month. Many African countries don't have that, except a few. Why would you go back to an African, a shithole country and go, yeah, it's a shithole country, sorry. Don't get triggered, okay? Shithole is shithole. I don't care how you want to put it. It's a shithole country. There are many shithole countries in Africa. Only in shithole country people will stand like this looking as there's a military operation happening. People like, if I was a white man talking about this, you say I'm racist. That's shithole. It makes no sense, logical sense. Anyway, the difference between these two is, number one, the lady in Lebanon was looking for her money. That's my money I want. I want my money back for a cause, which is my sister is sick. I need my money. The other lady, I don't know, is she going through difficult time, mentally, psychologically? Sometimes people do things because they hurt psychologically. It makes no sense, because when you have a fake gun trying to hijack a bank in Africa, what are you thinking about? I would be more angry or angrier if she had a real gun. Like, her intention was, I'm going to shoot somebody should the person stop me. But this person has a fake gun. What's wrong? Maybe they should look at the mental disease are not believed in Africa, unfortunately. Many African countries don't believe that people have mental disease and problems. They just think you possessed by a demon or you're just absolutely crazy. Let me know how you feel about this. Would you do the same for the first case? We're focusing on the first case, where you have a family member in trouble and you could do something. This is your money. Would you do the same for your child? Would you act? Let me know how you feel about this. God bless.